Hello everybody, I'm Amanda. Welcome back to my channel. I hope you enjoyed the last video that I had put out on how to cope with COVID. Today I am going to speak on pretty much the same things that I spoke with in the last video, but I had to add some more things to it. I think that would help everybody. I have a few minutes. I'm on my lunch break. As you see, I'm in scrubs. And I'm just going to make good use of the time for now. So I wanted to get into it right quick. I wanted to talk about some confessions, good confessions to make, as I had spoken in the last video, on how to get them to stick. Sometimes we make confessions, or we think that we're thinking good thoughts, but it doesn't stick. It seems like it does, but then it wears off. I find that, like I said in the last video, I had made a petition to God. And in that petition, I also wrote down some confessions that I wanted to stick. 21 days is how long I did it for. And I find that, yes, the average time to break or form a habit, it does take about 21 days. It worked for me. So now I want to share what worked for me, would hopefully work for you. The first few definitions that I'm going to go over are some words that'll help you build yourself up, make these confessions, and have them stick. As you hear the definitions from these words, you're going to see how much power they have behind it, and it's going to make it easier for you to believe it, and the length of time that you do it for, 21 days. The first word is decree. Order of something by decree. The second word is declare. Acknowledge possession. Okay, you have to take ownership of what you're declaring. Acknowledge it. This is what I possess. You might not possess it at the time. You might not feel that way about it, but this is you're taking ownership of it, because eventually you're going to start feeling it. Believe. Accept something is true. Feel sure of the truth. Receive. Be given, presented with, or paid by something. Okay? I feel like when you start claiming powerful words such as these, you can then start maintaining positive thoughts. I'm going to talk about for a few minutes on how long it takes to form a habit. I Googled a few length of time, I guess, on how long it takes to form a habit. In some instances, it could be 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, 2 weeks, or whatever. I think it really is based on how you feel about yourself, really. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to feel less of anxiety, less of being depressed, less of being tense, less of being angry, less of whatever it is? How bad do you want it? And if you want something bad enough, you're going to do it 10 times harder. And I think that's what I did for myself, and that's why it worked in 21 days. Plus, in the Bible, it speaks about how Daniel prayed for 21 days. And although God gave him the answer already within that few days, it wasn't revealed until the last day, which was 21 days, or the 21st day. So I really believe that it works, and as long as you apply and put in that work, you're going to see results fast. The more you confess something, the more you start to believe it. This goes for both negative and positive. All right? If you think negative thoughts about yourself, okay, especially around this time, a lot of us have lost our jobs. A lot of us are going through, tough times in relationships, maybe with our children. There's a lot of things that we are going through during this time of COVID, okay? And not only we're trying to cope with being around this life where we don't feel like it won't ever get back to normal, and this is what we're gonna see, which is not true, but along with our own personal issues that we're going through. So it's like it ties in together, and you're trying to figure out, whoa. Like, how do I begin? Where do I start? It's very important that we all take the time out to find out how we can come against certain confessions that even we made upon ourselves, okay? And with this, I feel like it's very vital. I think that it could happen within a flash. You can start it. There's no signing up to do this. There's no wait list or anything like that. You can start it right now. You could start it from where you are, driving. You could start it in your home. You can start it as you're just being creative in your mind, maybe online going food shopping or whatever. Just a thought. Write it down or text it to yourself or whatever. And when you get into that comfortable place where you could start writing things down, that's when you start putting things into perspective. It's all about perspective. So you make these positive confessions, okay? You start to constantly pray, you make these confessions, you start believing it, you declare it. And another way how to make these confessions is when you are, I find that most of the time when I've made these confessions around this whole time that we're going through with this pandemic, is I had to stand up and I had to walk around my home or wherever I was at, and I had to really feel it. I couldn't really be too lax, because sometimes when you're too lax, you don't really feel it. But when you're maybe standing up or walking around and your posture is straight, you kind of feel good about what you're saying, that it's going to stick. So I would start with doing that. If you're going to make confessions, be in a place where you feel like you're ready. Like, you're not going to feel like you're too lax, where you can't do it. So I think that's really important, okay? Also know that when you make confessions, you have to be in the mindset of being or having gratitude, okay? Being thankful for what you have right now. You might not be at a place where you want to be, okay? Things have definitely changed for you. It changed for me, and it changed for, I'm pretty sure, so many people, okay? But we have to keep going. We have to keep pressing. We have to keep being steadfast, unmovable, and we have to understand that this is a test of our faith. If we cannot get through this, we cannot get through anything, literally. So I would definitely advise you to, when you do these confessions, okay, whatever you're battling with, to really feel, really prompt yourself up, really give yourself that strength. You might have to do it in a mirror a few times just to really feel like this is really gonna help. Whatever works for you. So I'm gonna continue on. Let's see. Now we're going to talk about, while you're making these confessions, what to confess. A lot of us do not know what to confess, okay? Your guess is just as good as mine, a lot of people say, right? So you are going to start off, I'm going to give you some great confessions that you could make that's really going to help you, okay? Here's a confession. I have the victory. I am more than a conqueror. I proclaim abundance and overflow. My mind is transformed. I am the head and not the tail. I am above only and not beneath. Favor is upon my life. I'm thankful for my health, my job, my home, my children. Thank you, Lord, for your grace, for your covering, for your mercy. I am a winner. I am not defeated. I have peace. I have joy. I'm fortified. God is my refuge. He's my fortress. He's my deliverer. He's my healer. He's my strength. These are a lot of God-given gifts that you're speaking into the atmosphere. like I said in the beginning, you might not feel it all at once. You might not feel it right away, any of them. But the fact that you're declaring it, it's going to change. It's going to start forming a habit once you continuously do it every single day or a few times out the day. You're going to start feeling empowered. And sometimes you can even say certain confessions really, really loud, which will really help. And then you'll start feeling good after that. I'm telling you, this really works. Ask God to give you tenacity. Ask God to give you a grip on your own life and your mind. Do not be dependent on others to get a grip on yourself, okay? If you go to a friend or whoever, they're battling with stuff as well. So for them to try to give you input, it's like they need somebody to pour into them themselves. So it's better that you ask God to give you a grip on your own life, your own mind, because it's up to you to decide where you're going to go in this life, okay? It's up to you to have a sane mind. Ask God for unwavering faith, okay? If you feel like you don't have enough faith to believe anything at this time, listen, it's understandable. My faith wavered as well. But the more I began to get on my knees and ask God, I wasn't even on my knees half the time. I would just, you could pray wherever you are. You could pray in your mind. But the minute I began to ask God, Lord, give me unwavering faith. Help me to trust you. Help me to believe you at this time, Lord God, where I don't see any good happening. Help me to still know that you're there. Help me to know, Lord God, that you're the same God yesterday, today, and forever. These are things that when you ask God and you speak it and you're calling out to him, he's really going to hear you and he's going to answer you, okay? And your answer could come, and I learned this, your answer from God could come in so many different ways, form, and fashion. I have received different answers from God through weird situations, whether it was through people, a stranger, or somebody I knew, whether it was just through something that I was just doing in the house or whatever, a song, whatever. God will give you an answer through so many different ways. It's unbelievable. After speaking about unwavering faith to you all and how we're asking God to give us unwavering faith so that we can constantly believe and trust in him no matter what, we know that in the Bible the word says that faith is the substance of things hoped for and the evidence of things not seen. When we have faith, in our faith, we're hoping for something we do not see, okay? It's basically saying, Lord, I believe that in the next few months, things are going to go back to normal, okay? We don't know exactly what's going to happen in the next few months. It might keep extending itself, but that's faith believing in something that we hope for. We don't see it happening. We're in the unknown. But we're believing in faith that somehow things are going to get back to normal, okay? Which it will. We just don't know when. I believe also that this is a time that we should also start being more creative with our time while we're waiting. So we're praying, we're asking God to give us some more faith, empower us so that we can actually live our lives while we're in this whole pandemic situation going on here. And just, while we're in it, like I said, we have to go through it to get out of it. While we're in it, we want to be able to use this time wisely, to not let this time go to waste, okay? For us to, when we come out of this situation, that we have accomplished so much. So I wanted to get into really quickly is a few more things that will help us get through this time, this season that we're in, okay? Let's be creative for a second, okay? Let's talk about things that we would like to normally do if we weren't in this situation. But if you think about it, if we were not in this situation, would we really accomplish these things? That's a good question to ask yourself. Would you really take the time out to start doing things that you normally would not do? I don't think so. A lot of us know. So we have no other choice. Learn a new skill learn how to cook if you don't know, okay? I think that's very vital that while we're in this time, especially those who are not working and you're still home, that you don't just sleep the day away, watch TV the day away, okay? Talk on the phone the day away. Really do something with your time, okay? Start developing some skills, okay? Garden. Start a garden, okay? Our salons aren't open right now, and a lot of us need our hair did, okay? A lot of us are walking around with nappy hair, whatever, tangled hair, whatever type of hair that you have. We want to hit up the salons. This is a perfect opportunity to go on YouTube. If you don't know how to braid your hair or do your hair by now, and start finding out how to braid, how to do this, how to do that. Use your time wisely, okay? Learn a new skill. It's very important. I actually just finished braiding my hair, if you could see, okay? It's just a few braids that I did in the front, okay? This actually was yesterday. I had the same hairstyle last week, and I just rebraided it, okay? This is a prime example of what I'm telling you. It's always good to have a skill because you never know when you are going to need it, okay? I have not been to the salon in a long time, and before this I was braiding my hair anyway, so this is really nothing to me. If you have some nail polish, polish your nails, okay? Still be yourself. And that's another thing too. I think with this thing going on, because we haven't been in the salons, okay, since we haven't been in the barbershops, okay, for some men, we don't feel like ourselves. But it's up to you to gain that control back. It's up to you to feel your best, to do your best, to be at your best. And you cannot depend on people. And this, I believe too, that God is showing us that, listen, He closed, everything is shut down, okay? So normally when we had scheduled hair appointments, nail appointments, it's like we can't even look forward to that because everything is shut down. So maybe it's good that where we're at, we have the opportunity to find and to learn how to do a new thing, okay? Another thing is save your money. Yes, I said it, save your money. This is very vital. Listen, this whole thing started, pretty much things started shutting down mid-March, okay? And nobody really knew if things were going to go back to normal. At least that's what we thought, they were going to go back to normal. But we are still where we are, and it's April 20th, okay? I would suggest that you save your money. A lot of us have gotten our tax returns, and some of us have not been able to use our tax returns, which is a good thing, because now you could save that, and you can save whatever money that you're getting if you're still working, and you can save your stimulus check. That's my advice to you. Save your money. Build. Start paying off some debt that you need to pay, some old credit cards, if you want to close your credit cards. Pay off some things that you know is important for you to pay off, okay? And leave everything else to the side, okay? You don't need to be going shopping right now, ordering clothes online. Just keep everything, stay put, okay? Stay put. Because you'll see that when everything comes to an end here, and we go back to our lives, you'll see how much you were able to save, how many skills you were able to actually start, how creative you were, things that you have never done in your life that you were actually able to do at this time. And then to talk about it, yes, it is, yeah, it's a painful thing to talk about because of how everybody is quarantined or isolated or whatever. Can't really go out and see your family and your friends the way you want to. But when you actually think about it, when, you know, later on when we get back into our normal livelihood, you think about it and you're like, wow, you know, thank God that we were able to experience this time. You know, granted, there were people that have died, have gotten really sick, you know, but at least you were able to learn a lot of new things out of this isolation, this whole quarantine situation going on. Let's see. Another thing I think would be vital is to study a new course online Anything that you probably wanted to do that you didn't have time to do and now you're not working, that is a good enough excuse, a good enough reason to go online and start some new courses, okay? Anybody who has already tried, or not tried, but started a business and then this happened and then you feel like, well, what's the point? I would advise you to continue on. Continue on with your business, okay? Continue with your goals on what you want to happen for your business to flourish. And then when things start opening back up, little by little, of course, we're not going to dive right into everything, but you're going to start building little by little. Build your clientele. Take walks down your block. Of course, wear a mask at all times. Just because we have to stay home, it doesn't mean that we can't go outside and enjoy the natural air, breathe in good air. You don't want to feel like you're confined indoors only. You can go outside, of course, but just wear a mask and, you know, enjoy life. Continue to enjoy life. Life is not over because of this. Whether essential worker or not, have your kids work at their own pace. I would say especially K through 3rd grade, only because children, especially being home and they're not at their regular school setting, they're not going to feel like it's that serious. I know my kids sometimes, they're like, you know, why is she trying to teach us, you know, the curriculum that is taught by my teacher in a classroom and I'm at home? They're more relaxed. So I think that you should allow your kids to kind of do it at their own pace, and that allows you to do it at your own pace as well if you're working or if you're not working. Sometimes you need a breather. Like I said, sometimes you need time for yourself. You need to build yourself up. You need to encourage yourself and make yourself feel like, you know what, I can do this. I can get through this. Have them work at their own pace. I think it's very important. You know, for children, they could do a little math here. Even if the curriculum that is being sent to them through email or whatever formula, I think that YouTube is very essential. It has everything. Pop YouTube on, put that math, that reading, whatever grade level they're on, and you can go about doing what you're doing and have your kids do it for about 15-20 minutes. And then if you want to have them go to the regular school curriculum, have them do that. Education is education wherever you find it, okay? Let's see. Some other things. Also, Cosmic Kids Yoga Adventure. I spoke about in my last video for us as adults. Meditation and doing yoga that will promote peace. I think also for your children, that is another way to promote peace within your kids, especially if they're really young, and it soothes them. It's called Cosmic Kids Yoga Adventure. YouTube that. Cosmic Kids Yoga Adventure. Also, if you do have COVID-19, don't just lay there. This is very important because I notice a lot of people are doing this. They find out they're positive and they are just laying there waiting for it to wear off. No. Treat it like a cold or a flu, a bad cold or a flu, and continue with your teas. Do your teas, whatever, okay? Your NyQuil, take the fever reducer. Of course, they're saying Tylenol, okay? Theraflu. Treat it, okay? Don't just sit there and let it wear off because that's not good, okay? This is it's still a virus. It's the same, it's pretty much the same thing as other viruses. It's just a little more intense. Even if you do go back out there, whether it's food shopping or just to walk down the block or whatever, I would still encourage you to wear a mask, okay? Especially if you were positive for COVID-19. You want to protect those around you. We cannot stop the world from going outside, okay? But we can prevent people from getting sick by protecting ourselves. Also, if you're able to get retested before turning back to work, I think you should do so. I know a lot of people that I spoke with that were able to retest, especially nurses, okay? I spoke with a lot of nurses, able to retest. Okay, a lot of people are being called back to work prematurely and they still have the virus inside of them. I would definitely advise people, okay, especially if you were very sick, to get retested if you can. Okay, you're going to hear from some doctors, no, you don't have to, or you don't have the virus inside of you anymore. Nobody knows how long this virus is lasting inside of you. But the important thing is, if you want to go back into the world and continue to help people, get retested so that you don't infect other people around you. And that sums up everything that I have to say in this video. I hope this was helpful. Okay, I hope that I didn't get you guys all scattered all over the place. So sometimes when I'm talking, I could jump from one place to another. But I'm actually keeping dabs on my time here because I have to get ready to go back to work. But I wanted to leave you with this little video to encourage you a bit more, and hopefully it works. Hopefully, you know, like I said in the last video, you don't have to do everything I said to do. Maybe you have other ideas, other creative things to do that I didn't jot down. Make a list of them. And also, if you have any questions, feel free to add a comment or a question if you have under the comments below. And I would really like to know how everybody is doing with this whole coping situation. I would definitely like you to comment below and to let me know how are you coping? You know, how are you standing strong? What things are you doing to keep yourself powerful and not powerless in this time? And if any of you guys have kids, what you're doing with your children, how are you holding up? And spiritually, like, what is helping you? Comment below, thumbs up, subscribe. I would definitely appreciate that. And I hope that everybody has a beautiful day. And I'll see you again soon. Bye for now.